Comics Plus, what is going on? My name is Akasan. How you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing swell. Your boy just got off of work. And I want to talk about something that's blowing up on Twitter right now. I responded to it before I went to sleep. And I was like, whatever. I didn't even know who this person was or whatever. Dennis Day? Yeah, Dennis Day Villeneuve. The title on Twitter was, hold on, let me show you exactly what I responded to before I get into this. Was like this guy right here. Boom. So he said, Dennis Villeneuve says that there are too many Marvel movies that are nothing more than a cut and paste of others. And, you know, I'm like seeing this photo and I'm just like, I just responded back, who? Like, I had no idea who this dude was at all. I'm like, why is this a headline, right? To be fair, and then a fan let me know, oh, you know, that one apparently relevant guy that said all important things I can't remember. People are like, who cares? John Ritter's impersonator. He do look like John Ritter. Yo, I didn't even read all these replies. Oh, here we go. So one person, Drew, he let me know. The director of Cesario, Arrival, and Dune. I've never seen any of those movies. I actually wanted to see Cesario. Arrival, never seen it, right? Dune, I was interested in until today. Let's go ahead and let's read the translated article because it was in Spanish, I guess. But let's see what like the translated version. See if he has a clarification for this whole horrible, make no mistake, horrible take. You are entitled to your opinion. But when you work in the same industry as the people that you're essentially shitting on and critiquing and talking bad about, because like that's a pretty crazy thing, especially when you're a director. That's what's wild. Like every once in a while we see actors coming up and talking smack about the MCU, and we're like, okay, well, you just mad because you didn't get any offers, right? You missed out, whatever. That's one thing, but when you're a director, that is some wild shit. That is a wild take. It's so weird. It's like could you imagine another YouTuber starting out and you want to just be up here talking smack about PewDiePie, which people do, right? But it's kind of like, man, are you really doing yourself a favor by doing that? I don't know about all that. I don't know about, you can have a different opinion, but if you want to say something like, okay, PewDiePie is just copying other people or whatever, you know, it's like, you know, he's got fans out there who could have been your fans. But let me see exactly what this dude's talking about, because this is crazy, man. Prisoners was good. I did like Prisoners. I don't know if I liked it for the directing, but I liked, you know, okay, Dune director Dennis said that Marvel movies are a cut and paste of other films. Man, that is just a horrible thing to say, man. Wow. In a recent interview with El Mundo, now he's not the first filmmaker to criticize what the House of Ideas is doing with their cinematic universe, and he won't be the last. Like even Martin Scorsese, like you think you would have known better after Martin Scorsese of all people came out here saying something that people grilled his ass, and they will never let that go. I knew it was a wrap. It was a wrap for him on Twitter when people started making Scorsese in the Marvel font and saying, now this is cinema, like that, you know? Man. let's keep going, man. And wasn't there somebody else that was literally in a Marvel movie? Oh, Steven Dwarf was talking smack about Marvel. And I'm like, bro, you were in a Marvel movie. Come on, dude. All right, let's keep going. Specifically, the director said, there are too many Marvel movies that are nothing more than a cut and paste of others. So is he trying to say that the Marvel movies are essentially recycling each other? It's like the same story. They're just recycling and rehashing. I that's what I'm getting out of this. Okay. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the Incredible Hulk, I don't think Guardians of the Galaxy was recycled from the Incredible Hulk. It seems like two different movies to me. Eternals coming out. Doctor Strange. I don't know. Let's keep going. How does he pronounce his name? Venom. Has also been adamant about people seeing his films on the largest screen possible rather than the day and date release model that Warner Brothers Pictures have had since the pandemic began. But this time, he seems to be taking aim at the tone of some of the Marvel movies in a critique that wouldn't be out of place on Twitter or Reddit when it comes to how the Marvel formula is deployed. Some are probably going to agree with him, and the MCU fans are going to defend their favorite movies. Damn it. How do you pronounce this? I already forgot. He's so, like, not important. Like, okay, Villeneuve. Okay, Villeneuve, yeah, getting on people's nerves, all right. Villeneuve definitely has a right to his opinion, and it feels conviction in the argument he lays out. But the internet will surely debate this entire question into the ground before the day is over. Villeneuve spoke to Total Film recently about how optimistic he is that they will be able to make a part 2 for Dune. Oh, but you think. Oh, not anymore, buddy. But you thought. Okay. This is not a man lacking confidence. We have been hearing in the past few decades that it's not possible to adapt this book, and that it is an impossible task. I think that in the back of the mind of the studio, it's still the same, Villeneuve told Total Film. So the first thing was to prove that there was a beautiful, popular movie that can exist. And I think I blah, 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 blah. Okay, so basically you just took shots at Marvel so that people would read the rest of this article. Is that what's going on? All right, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'm not reading. Yeah. So literally, wait, is that it? That's literally all he said? So he did. So from what, I mean, if there's if somebody has the original translated article out here, because see, oh, there it is. And I got to pay. I'm not subscribing. I can't even read Spanish. Somebody read it. Who speaks Spanish? Let me know what they said. So here's my deal. Here's my thing. What's up, Alonzo? Help us. Here's my thing. Based upon what we have read here, I mean, that's all I got. That's all I got right now. Cut and paste of other films and set. So he's saying that there are too many Marvel movies that are nothing more than a cut and paste of others. I mean, this seems like an opinion of a man who's actually never watched a Marvel movie. And if he has, he's only seen one or two. Possibly phase 1 and then moved on. If anything, he probably The most that he's ever seen of a Marvel movie is the highlights when they run them at the Academy Awards or the Screen Actors Guild Award or whatever, or when they do box office highlights, and that's the most he's ever seen. So to him, it all looks the same, right? Which is in some ways understandable, but you know, to address his opinion, because what he's saying is opinion, it's definitely not fact. Some people want to make it seem like it's fact, but to address his opinion and his statement, you know, that is definitely not true. The cut and paste of other films, it might borrow certain moments from other movies, but that's the thing about building a universe. So it all starts to kind of feel interconnected, right? But you can take, you know, even in the phases themselves, to me, Spider-Man Homecoming seems worlds different than Doctor Strange. The Eternals coming out very, very soon looks like that's going to be fairly different from Shang-Chi. And, you know, do I even need to get into the Guardians of the Galaxy versus what? Iron Man? I don't know. You know, if there were any sort of similarities, that's the one thing that they're all entertainable and they're all relatable, which is something that Marvel has strived at and excelled at very, very well. That when you see a regular kid from Brooklyn picking up a god-wielding weapon and chanting a symbol, and you got grown men crying over it, to me that seems pretty crazy, pretty wild. So, you know, first and foremost, that's just his opinion. Now, what I think is the biggest problem here is that when you're in the same industry and when you're sharing the same seats, you're up here essentially shitting on your coworkers, your brothers, your sisters in this industry, trying to feed their families, the cast and crew, you know? I wonder what Bautista has to think about this comment here, right? He's had a very successful line in the Marvel movies, and he's also been very successful in the Blade Runner and other movies as well, right? But, you know, by far Bautista became the household name because of Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, what does Jason Momoa think about this? He probably doesn't, you know? Because if you insult Marvel, you just you insult Marvel only because DC hasn't gotten to that level that they could be insulted. You know? I wonder what Thanos has to say about this. Josh Brolin. He's in the Dune movie. Zendaya. It's just, it's a really weird situation. It's a really lowbrow, insulting sort of comment to make about the people you work with. That is wild, man. That's the wildest thing. Again, this goes back to me, like, that's like me saying, like, that's like me sitting right next to DC, Dante, and being like, man, fuck, God, SoftBank is just the worst company. They just copying stuff over and over. Their advertising is terrible. Oh. Right? I don't understand how this is even conceivable of saying something like this. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed because I actually was really interested in Dune. It had a lot of good heart going into it. It had a lot of good buzz around it, and it seemed like something a little different that I'm used to. I mean, I still think it, you know, it has Star Wars-ish feelings, but, you know, we've already discussed that, right? And Hunger Games type of feeling like that. You know, if we want to talk about cut and paste, but it still seemed kind of unique. And again, there are a lot of actors from Marvel movies that are in this movie and DC movies. And I'm like, hey man, let me give this a shot. Now, I'm not so sure, to be honest. Now I'm not so sure about that, because if your main dude, the main guy who is supposed to be the captain of this ship, is insulting the kind of stuff that I like, and then let's be fair, let's be honest, I haven't always been the biggest Marvel champion. I've said the same thing about the Marvel formula. Yes, there are things, but to come up here and say like, but I am a fan. I am not in the industry, right? Like the other day when I met the president of Sony, and I was like, they were like, so how'd you like Venom? I'm like, yeah, Venom. Like, you know, I know better than to say what I really want to say in the tones like that. So yeah, very poor choice of words here. So, you know, it's disappointing, and it has really turned me off of Dune now. I can't wait to check it on HBO Max now. Yeah, good luck with that part 2, buddy. Like, you know, and if I feel this way, man, I can't imagine what some of the other the you know, this is your, it's just wild to me. Like, does he not realize that this is the same demographic you're talking to? Like, you're just like, yo, you're turning them off. The real problem is what David said. The real problem here isn't what he said because he said it with respect. The real problem here is that people can't accept other people's opinion. He never said that the directors are making shit movies. Sites like comicbook.com only translated the MCU part for baiting MCU fanboys. Yes, that actually is true, because I did read, but see, here's the thing. I read something else on Twitter. Now, I can't verify if this is true or not, because it just is what somebody translated, but he said something like it's a formula where he said he feels like we're all programmed like zombies to just go see the latest flick or something like that. I cannot verify if this is true, but this is one of the articles that the things that I saw that was translated directly from the article like that. So, you know, and again, but David, you know, he's saying no, but I've already illustrated that it isn't it's not an issue about accepting his opinion. It's about a lack of professionalism. If he was if he was a regular dude, if he was just a critic or whatever, you know, saying whatever he wants to say, then that's fine. But the biggest problem I have is the fact that he's in this industry with all these people that that have been in Marvel movies that are sharing this situation, and they kind of come out here and you're punching way too high on this one, buddy. You are punching way too high. It's like, all right, let me just find the most popular thing and shit on it. Look, man, Mr. Venom. Look, if we're going after Zack Snyder for using Ant-Man as a scapegoat, and Zack Snyder apparently loves the Marvel movies. If we go after Zack Snyder, if we go after David Ayer for saying F Marvel, if we're going after Martin Scorsese, this dude is not off our radar. And it's not about him having an opinion. Stephen Dwarf as well. It's not about him. It's fine for his opinion, but it's like, look, dude, you're in the same industry. If Kevin Feige legit came to your house right now and said, yo, we want you to make something we want you to make your own we want you to make a movie, with a Marvel movie with your spin. We wanted you to do Eternals. This story would be a lot different, you know? Anyways, yeah, he is making a movie from a book. So what he said backfired on him. There you go. All right. Does he not want Marvel fans to watch his movies? That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying right here. What did he think was what did you think was gonna happen? It's like, yo, if he got asked that question, be like, look, it's cool. I'm good with that. Just shut up. Move to the next question. Keep it to himself. It's just so weird. It's so weird that you would even think to give your opinion on that one. Like, did you not think that Dune and Marvel movies are not the same demographic? That's like somebody, that's like a Marvel person coming out. That's like what? That's like Shang-Chi, Sam coming out and saying, man, you know, I hate Star Wars. Could you imagine if you just came out and said that? Like, yo, man, I really hate Star Wars. I just hate everything about it. Like, I just think it's dumb. There's sound effects in space. What's that all about? Like, yeah, anyways, hey, check out Shang-Chi. It's coming out next weekend. We appreciate it. Make ours Marvel. What are you like? Could you imagine? Anyways, tone deaf. Red Nation, stand up, speak up. I want to hear what you guys think about this particular situation. I'm sorry I ranted for quite some time, but there was a lot to take in. And if anybody does have the translated article, the full translated article, I'd love to pick this one up again, maybe when Dune is closer. But, you know, at this moment, I can't wait to see it on HBO Max. Yeah. Oh, and we got to talk about Christopher Nolan one day. I don't know what's up with that boy too, man.